Roim v'arvoim v'froa minahon stark suftadon the dunya dein v'toseftadon minoi v'afilu min delima da al kaspoi v'chayai ubosa chayai min yoman denanu li'alon v'achraya stark suftadon the dunya dein v'toseftadon kibel lo tuvyo bero chasandon kechomer kol shori ksuvos v'toseftos denoagin divnos Yisrael v'asugin kesikun chachamenu zichronom v'brachot Delo kasmachto delo ketose d'shtorei V'kanina min tuvyavero ben meir chasandanon l'mora sivana bas mendel misrachtada al kolma dekosu v'mufurish le'el b'mona dekosha v'mitne de v'hakol shomer v'kayom num yichil tzvi ben avigdarei v'um yirachmil ben avtoli ei. Well, we made it. Right? We're all here. It's really a pleasure and an honor, Alina, that you both of you asked me to come in for the wedding, and I bring with you all the wishes of my wife and the children in Israel who wish they could be here. This is really a special day. It's for you, but it's a special day for me too. When we were trying to work out the ksuba, I realized that this is my Hebrew anniversary as well. In other words, some 31 years ago, on this very Hebrew day, my wife and I were married. So this adds another connection to what already is a very warm connection that we have together. And I want to address part of my comments to you, because I need to tell you something very special about your column that you probably already know, but I want to say it, and Alina could listen, okay? Because we go back a long, long way, and Alina in many ways is an adopted daughter of our family, and in a very special way. It began in the 9th grade when she became a student of my wife's at St. Louis Blanc Shiva High School. And it continued. She kept coming over the house for holidays and Shabbosos and so on. It continued when she became very close to my own children, specifically to Shani, when during the college years they got to know each other. And then I understand going in medical school, you ended up your residency spending a lot of time there. Shani reminded me of the interesting story about Sukkot when you moved to Brooklyn. And there are so many wonderful family stories that we have where every simcha that we had, Alina was always there. She got to know my oldest daughter, Udi, because they lived in the same building. And then when she went to Chicago, she became very close with Dina, another one of my daughters. So she's a very special young lady who we've come to love and cherish and see her really as part of our family. I was looking through some pictures at Shani's house last night. And Alina is in all the pictures, one way or another. She's there. Very, very special lady that I'm sure you know. Now, till today, this is the first time we've met, and I didn't really have much of a chance. But with all my daughters, I say before they get married, of course, I have to meet the husband and the crew. I didn't have a chance to meet you, but my brother did, and my brother happens to be a sharp judge of character. And he never makes a mistake. And when he gave me thumbs up, then I knew, I could trust my brother in these matters. And once he said everything was okay, I knew everything would be okay. So it's a special moment because of who Alina is and how close we all feel to her. And now, by extension, of course, we welcome you as well into our larger family. I have a brief Divine Torah that I hope you'll remember because I think it says something about marriage in general, and specifically about the both of you. In yesterday's parsha, we read the famous expression when God looks on man and he says, Lo tov heyos adam levado, it's not good for man to be alone. Esa lo ezer kenegdo, I'm going to fashion for him a wife. So many of the commentators ask, what was it about man that he saw that wasn't good? It's not good for man to be alone. So there are many different answers. Perhaps one of the rather unknown answers is the answer given by the Ramban in his commentary on Chumash. The Ramban says, quoting the Gemara at the end of Brachos, that when he looked at man, he didn't like what he saw. What did he see? He saw man as two partsufim. Apparently, when God created man, they were created male and female, Zachar and Nekeva. They were together. But how were they together? So they were connected, believe it or not, by their backs. And they weren't facing each other. And they were one entity. They were one entity. God looked at that human entity and he said, I don't like it. I don't like it. And what did he do? So the Ramban says he separated. They were separate. Ezer connecto, so that they could look at each other. Because they were connected in the back, again, according to the Gemara, they couldn't see each other. Now they were able to function. I'm not sure how, but they couldn't see each other. God separated them. There was an act of separation. And then they were able to turn and face each other. And that became the paradigm of marriage. The Ramban is telling us a very deep idea. And the idea is like this. When husband and wife get married, they are separate people. They have to be separate. They're separate individuals. Two people could know each other for years, and yet they're fundamentally, uniquely different. And that has to be respected. That two people are very different. And people can live together for 50 years in a wonderful, happy married life, and they still won't fully know the other person. Because two people are very unique and singular. But then they turn and they face each other, and they look at each other. They look at each other's faces. Because the word face in Hebrew is panim, and Chazal tells us it speaks about the panimiyus. In other words, if you want to know the inner essence of a person, you look at their face, you look at their eyes. Husband and wife were separate. They turned, connecto, they looked at each other, they looked into each other's eyes, and they began to discover who that person was. And that discovery never ends. That's the adventure of marriage. You look at each other, each standing a bit apart, but you look at each other and you discover more and more of the beauty and the uniqueness of that individual. And the marriage becomes deeper and deeper, and you fall more and more in love until after many years you could never imagine being apart. So our brother, my brother, both of you, Alina, my adopted daughter, and I guess my adopted son, that's the brother we give you. You face each other, look into each other's eyes, see the inner essence, and begin this adventure of discovering each other so that your love may grow and deepen and deepen and deepen and be an everlasting love. Mazel tov to both of you.
Hoeveel bent de eerste vraag? Je doet de braskie. Binnenveld.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shakol barag b'yadav.
Goed met de lettervraag naar het bank.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yoteh adam.
Amen. Goed met de lettervraag.
Alles kan.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher yasser et Adam b'tzalmo b'tzelem demut tavnito v'hitkin lo mimenu binyan ad hayat. Baruch atah Adonai yotzei